So on the subject of test outlines, let's talk about the AP test outline. And I'll probably just leave that on the board the rest of the year. There it is if you're watching at home, so that you sort of know what's coming. So question type, is there a calculator, number of questions, and how much time you have in minutes. I'm really just going to replicate the table that's already up here, but just so you get a feel for what it will look like on May the, it's not up there, whatever day we take it. So you start with the multiple choice, start without the calculator, then you get to use the calculator. 30 questions of no calculator for an hour. That's 2 minutes each. 15 questions with calculator for 45 minutes. So they give you extra time when you have the calculator because they know that it takes a little bit of time to, type the equation in. It's a complicated equation. You got to put the fraction bar, then you graph it, and then you play with your window to make sure you're looking at it right. So they're trying to account for that by giving you more time with the calculator. And then second calc 0 to find where the 0 is, or max or min or derivative, all those things that are under the calc button. And so they recognize that it takes a little while. This isn't a race to see who can hit the buttons the fastest. So they give you an extra little bit of time to do those calculator questions. And kind of like on most standardized tests, if they grant you a calculator, it doesn't mean it's needed for every question. It just means you've got it if you want it, and there's a few questions that you absolutely need it for. But it's not guaranteed that you'll be spending 3 minutes in the calculator on every question. And then free response. Free response is a little bit backwards. It's yes, you get your calculator, 2 of those for 30 minutes. And no, you don't get your calculator, 4 of those, 60 minutes. And when you're in there, they lay it out this way so that after 30 minutes, you have to put your calculator up. But after 30 minutes, you can still work on the calculator questions. But you should be working on the no calculator questions at that time. But once the 30 minutes is up, you can go back and look at those 2 questions. You just don't have your calculator. So how much work could you get done if you don't have your calculator? Probably not a whole lot. But maybe if you got stuck somewhere and you realized, what the mistake was, you could go back and, sort of do your best you could without a calculator and maybe earn a couple of points somewhere if you had time to go back. So does that make sense? So 30 minutes on the calculator questions, and then they'll say, all right, put your calculators away, and now you may, it's sort of worded weird, now you may begin the no calculator part. You can still work on those, but you should probably move on because you don't want to lose time on those. But you get finished, you can go back and look at all of them, but you can't get your calculator back out again. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of a picture of what the AP test looks like. Oh, the with calculator part. Things you have to know with the calculator. A lot of it is, obviously there's evaluating weird stuff like sine squared of 4x. You don't want to type that in by hand, and your answers are going to be 1.732. So evaluating weird functions. Right, if you need f prime of 1.5, and that's the sine of 2x plus 3e to the x squared. You don't want to do that without a calculator. You type it in and you get some weird decimal, and hopefully it's one of your answer choices. Finding zeros, usually from the graph. So the second calc zero thing. Actually, I should I'll put all of those together. Min, max, less so, but maybe. dy dx, and then we don't know what this is yet, but the antiderivative, the integral. Basically, it's all about using the second calc button on the calculator. So you put in your function and then mess with your window to make sure you're looking at the right, up, down, left, right stuff so you see a good picture. And then second calc, you can do all of those things with it.